This is Yolanda Mozdzen, Humanitarian Painter, a hug of color to the world, one painting at a time, with critical thinking podcasts, thinking shit through one podcast at a time.
My man Rick had to take a piss. Hopefully he washed his hands. Hey, look, he's back. Why are your hands wet? I have to admit, Rick, that's kind of quick.
Yeah, I almost pissed my pants because I couldn't turn the light on.
That's funny. So, ladies and gentlemen, as Rick is finagling with his wiener.
Did you say finagling?
Okay. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, as Rick is warming up his pod, using both hands.
I'm still saying use finagle? Wow.
He's fidangling his dangle. I don't know how that works.
Actually, I was going to do like Scrubs there. Nice use of the word finagle.
Nice. Well, ladies and
but this is making fun of me, and I was like, wait. I don't know if I should do that. I mean, he's like, Mig One, Podcaster MG. What other names you got?
Big Long Daddy.
AKA. And all of a sudden the cops hear this and they're like, oh, that's you?
That's right. Lefty, AKA Two Guns, AKA Horse Cocked, AKA. No, I don't know even what my real name is anymore. I really don't. I don't know how to. You done threw me off again. We don't even have an intro yet, Sean. I'm sorry for this. I mean, we're just babbling. Blah, 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 blah. That's the Rick there. But anyway.
It's not my fault.
It's always your fault.
It's never my fault.
This is CNN. Team Juice, we want you as a sponsor so we can be drunk on this podcast 24/7.
Mainly Sean. I mean, literally, he just drinks one and he becomes
Eric.
He don't shut up.
I know. You can tell it. And you can smell the juice.
And he shares everything.
Oh, man, you can smell the juice on him.
Yes.
He's like a talkative woman. Get one drink in him and he spills the secrets. Get two drinks in him and you got him in bed.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't either. I don't want to catch anything, that fool guy.
He gets in the bed, he's going to talk him. It's going to talk him to sleep.
Really? It's going to be like, is that how you like it? Is that how you like it? No, it's not going to be anything like that. It's going to, do you know that the earth rotates around the sun? Wait a minute, that's Josh.
If Sean did, he wouldn't say around the sun. He says, you know, the earth rotates around my penis.
Yeah, it's very long.
All right.
It's surrounded by dark matter.
God damn.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Critical Thinking Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, along with my co-host,
Rick the Rizzo, and our other co-host,
Sean.
And the other Mexican in the room, Miguel G.
And this is a critical look at all things gaming, movies, collectibles, and so much more.
This is Critical Thinking Podcast, brought to you by Beyond the Dawn Radio, No Fucks Given Radio, and now 8-Bit Bros, who will be carrying us locally now every Friday night, playing us around, I believe, 8 o'clock their time, which I think is Eastern. That is not yet to be confirmed, but we are going to be on 8-Bit Bros. So, please give out a welcome, warm handshake, reach around, whatever you want to give to the bros, because we appreciate their love.
Now, being that they're 8-Bit Bros, is this 8-Bit like gaming?
Yes, it is, sir.
Nice.
Hey, look at you, nerd.
We finally got something that we talk about.
Well, you know what? I don't even know if that's true. That might be something else. No, it's definitely, it's an 8-bit because you see the little guy, little character in there. It looks like a Pitfall dude.
Nice.
But yeah, they reached out to us and decided they wanted to carry us. So I wanted to give them a little love here at the beginning of the show, saying, reach out to our radio stations for all the wonderful play they've had. We wouldn't be where we're at this
Miguel
time.
likes to give the reach around.
Whoa, what the freak? Well, I'm sticking them in the ass. That's right. Cut that, Sean. But anyway, I wanted to give a little hand. I want to give an applause to the radio stations for playing us and having our back. Because, we're not politically correct in this house. We never have been.
Never.
And it's getting worse. You were clearly out of control of Compalooza.
I was more in control.
Of what?
Myself.
Okay.
I wasn't in control of you.
No one can control me. You know this.
I can see it all from here, falling away.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Yolanda Mozdzen, and I don't even know if I said that right. She pronounced it Mozdzen. How was it?
Mozdzen and then Mozdzen in Polish.
Mozdzen in Polish. Very interesting. A renowned New York humanitarian painter. I suck at painting, so let me go and put that out there first of all. I try to watch Bob Ross as much as I can. You know, happy little bush here and there, but I can't draw. I suck. So we would love you to tell our viewers, first of all, I want to tell you thank you for reaching out to me on Twitter and reaching out to us. We really appreciate it. We're always glad to have people on. And basically from what I read about what you do and why you do it, that's something that we can get behind. You know what she does, Rick, right?
Apparently a painter.
Yeah, she's a painter, yeah, but she paints for money. That's right. No, I'm just kidding. No. She paints and does donations for charitable organizations. Her art goes to help people that need it.
Nice.
She's doing a lot of stuff to help other people in need, and she also tries to inspire via art. And that was just breathtaking. That's really, amazing. So once I read that, we were like, oh yeah, most definitely can have you on. Now, if you came on here, no, I'm just slinging paint for myself, yeah. No, we didn't figure it was anything like that. We don't say no to anybody. We love having people on our show, and we've had a different array of guests, from musicians to painters now to comedians, comic books, and we've had
movie stars.
Yeah, we've had even cosplayers. I was going to say strippers, but that doesn't actually apply, I don't think. That's coming soon.
On some cosplayers, you just never know what they do.
Yeah, no, and then they wonder. No, I'm just no. Anyway, Miss Yolanda, go ahead. Tell our fans who you are.
My name is Yolanda Mozdzen, and I'm grateful to actually be on this podcast right now. I actually looked you guys up and saw different things about like what you guys do and how, amazing, like you reach out to your fans and with Comic-Con and different things like that. And I said one artist to another, why not? And you're actually my first live interview, and I'm actually very honored that it's you guys. That's number one. I just want to say thanks. Two, I've been painting since I was about 5 years old. My grandfather actually taught me how to paint. And he tried to teach me how to do people, and I couldn't do it. I actually did better stick figures than I can actually do a face.
Hey, you just
wait now.
You just took Mike's his specialty there.
Wait a minute now. I boast around the city of Houston. I got the best stick figure in the game. Don't make me go up against you. No, that's funny. Your grandfather was Joseph, I believe.
Yes, Joseph Mozdzen.
I did a little research. Yeah. I've been stalking you on the internet.
And then he said, oh, go do whatever you want. And he goes, just remember in life, you got to be strong like bull. And
shut up, Rick.
You have to.
That is going to be the best line ever.
And your mind is a camera. So whatever you capture, whenever you go paint after that, then whatever you're feeling at the moment, just remember the stuff that you remembered in your brain and then just paint. So I've been doing that ever since. And when I actually tried to give my art to art galleries, I think I was in my 20s, 20s, like around there, to art galleries in NoHo and Soho and so forth, they all turned me down. They were like, oh, anyone in FIT, anyone here? Do you know this one? I'm like, no. Do you have a master's? No. Oh, then we don't want to see your artwork. And I was like, oh, really? I bawled into tears so many times, crying, going home. I said, you know what? My art is meant for something bigger. I'm going to help people with it. So that's what I started to do. I started to paint and just give them out to people as gifts at first, just for Christmas and holidays and people who needed cheering up. And then one day I actually had the guts to go and reach out to companies, and whether I got rejected or not. And I actually didn't get rejected each time. And I started giving out my art for charitable causes because of that. And that's basically how I started. And there's actually one example of this one child that I found on Facebook. The father and I connected with the mother, and autistic child. And I gave him a painting. Within 2 weeks, he started speaking and carrying the painting all over wherever he went. And to me, that meant more than anything, that I can touch not just a charitable cause. They're all great. Don't get me wrong. But that one child that I actually helped, that made an impact in that one little kid's life, when he gets older, he's going to remember that.
Oh,
so
definitely.
To me, yeah. So that's basically what I do and how I started. And I just finished a weekend in Long Island helping veterans and seniors and the Amber Court senior assistant living in Long Island. And it was just an amazing experience. And had fun with veterans. So it was really cool.
Well, that is awesome. As Rick and myself, we're family, actually. Rick and myself are the only two kin on this podcast. Our grandfather was a veteran. He served honorably in World War II. So did my grandfather on the other side. I was in the military. My son is Marine now, and my younger one's about to go into the Army here in July.
So thank you for all serving.
We appreciate that. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts going out there and helping and talking to those veterans. Whenever I see anyone on the street that's a former veteran, I will sit there and have a conversation. Usually my sons are with me, and so we all get involved in nice conversations. I respect all veterans and everything. I mean, I try to respect everyone as well, how I was raised.
Of course.
But yeah, my hat goes off to the veterans and everything else. So that really appealed to me. That was really cool of you to do that. That's amazing.
Thank you. And when I was actually there was this painting that I did of flags, and I didn't really know who to give it to. And we were going to see a couple different veteran sites. And when I went to Amber Court and I was introduced by Alicia Stern by this, when we went there, we were like, this is where the painting is meant to be. We sat and talked with a couple older gentlemen that were veterans, and they paved the way for our life and our freedom. And when they saw that piece, they were like, stick it up there. They were like, that middle piece that's on there, take it down. It doesn't belong there. And they actually wanted that painting right up there as they're eating in the dining room. That I teared. I teared because that meant something to them. It meant something that somebody actually cared that they didn't know, you know?
Yeah, it's a big inspiration to a lot of people that way.
And I didn't really look at that, to be honest with you, back in the day when I started helping others with it. It was just more of me making an impact on somebody else's life. And now I'm seeing the bigger picture of how it really does impact people.
Now, being that you've talked to veterans and everything, have you listened to their stories and everything?
Yes.
And has that brought inspiration to make a certain type of painting also?
Yes.
Good question, Rick. Man.
Yeah. Yes, actually. I've heard many stories, and my grandfather's a veteran also, both of them actually. And when I actually heard a story this weekend on, how this gentleman, it was actually a painting class that I taught in Amber Court this weekend also. So I was in there with all these seniors, and there was this one veteran from the Air Force, and he was telling me how people took flight when no one else would. And when there were a shortage of air pilots, they asked women. And his wife was one of the first women to fly in the Air Force, and getting all these other women to do the same thing. So that inspired me to do a women's Air Force painting that I'm currently working on. So yeah, they totally inspire me. They inspire me to do so many different things that go out of my realm. I would never do a painting of a plane geared towards a woman in the Air Force. I'm only thinking of veterans, flags, different things like that. And when you speak to different people, your eyes, your ears, and everything just starts to open to the bigger picture of things. So yeah. And I cried because of the fact that they were husband and wife. Wow,
I didn't know. That was interesting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like interesting, Miguel and our grandfather, he was in the service, but he had passed away, and his brother, our Uncle Henry, because all of my grandfather's brothers, they all served. And my Uncle Henry was sitting there. I never thought I would hear that he was talking about a story about also some of the women in the army that were the nurses and everything. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was funny, but they were just sitting there talking. He goes, yeah, the women were slinging dice just like the men were slinging dice, making some money in there. I was like, what? I'm here trying to get this war story, and I'm picturing nurses slinging dice.
Nice. Not to keep it on the war stuff, but again, our grandfather, real quick, didn't really speak a lot in regards to what he went through, and I understand that a lot. My grandfather, my dad's side, barely toward the end, but I've heard many stories as to why, and again, it just, my heart goes out to this gentleman who paid the ultimate price. And my Uncle Henry, he was handicapped and he passed, his hand suffered. So he passed away too. I mean, all of them, they were separated, all the brothers were separated because, just like, you have to separate the brothers, basically goes happened to the Solomons. So they were not together. So that had to be tough, knowing that you and your brothers are all fighting, but you're nowhere near to each other and you can't keep in contact. So that's pretty interesting. But I want to talk more about you. I want to talk more about some of the stuff you just said earlier. I'll get back to it, but I want to get in deep in regards to you. You're Polish. Were you born here in the U.S.?
I was born in Manhattan, raised in Bay Ridge, Park Slope first, and then Bay Ridge.
Cool.
In Brooklyn. Yeah. And then when I was, I think, 13, we moved to Staten Island. So I'm a all around New Yorker.
Please tell me you're not a Yankees fan.
I knew he was gonna go there.
I'm not a baseball fan at all. I'm more of a hockey fan.
So let me see. Rangers, Islanders?
Rangers.
You and my father. Ugh. Go Bruins.
Hey, we all gotta start somewhere.
I understand it. I find it amazing that your grandfather was the inspiration that got you started. As Rick will tell you that my grandfather played a major role in his life and my life, and my grandmother also played a major role in my life. Other than, how did you ever have an idea that was inside you before that?
Yeah, I actually was playing with paper and folding them in different corners, and whenever I had crayons, I would make a mess of my mother's wall, but I would take her lipsticks and draw on the wall and do different things and get in trouble and try to hide in the closet or under my bed. But yeah, it was always in me. I don't know. I just always felt different, I guess, in a sense, but I always was with different colors, whether it was a marker, lipstick, paper, putting different colors of piece of paper together too. And once my grandfather saw me fidgeting one day with it, he's like, come on, I'm going to show you something in the basement. And he always painted in the basement with no electricity and with just the skylight from the window coming through and painting with natural light. And I didn't start painting with candles, which is natural light, until I think I was in my teens. And then as I got older, I started painting with more candles and then with no electricity whatsoever. And because the electricity bothered my eyes for whatever reason, and the paintings wouldn't even come out good. So then I just started with that, and I didn't realize until actually speaking with you just now, my grandfather was the inspiration of me painting with natural light.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well, the ancestors back then never did that either. There was no electricity. Monet and Da Vinci had electricity. They didn't.
No.
All they had was candles and natural light. And that's how their beauty started. So I feel like maybe I got a little bit of their spirit inside me or something.
Well, that's pretty cool.
You never know.
I was going to say, in regards to your family again, how many brothers and sisters do you have, if you don't mind us asking?
Oh, no. I have one sister, so it's me and my sister. My sister and I are 7 years apart, and she's a nurse.
She doesn't have the artistic in the drawing abilities either? No?
She does. She just doesn't enhance it. She's not into that part of her life, and she deals more on the healthcare side, but I'm in healthcare as well. I'm a medical assistant.
Oh,
so,
okay. Cool.
Yeah. So, and I'm a poet also. I write poetry, but I really just don't display that part of me.
Well, is there anything else? I mean, we've been lucky enough to meet so many people. You're like, oh yeah, I do this. This is what I do. This is my path. I'm a podcaster. Oh, but I'm a doctor on the side. Oh, I also play basketball for the NBA. What? Like, goodness gracious. I feel like a lame piece of crap now. All I do is I work, I podcast, and I take care of my kids.
I know.
I'm not doing enough.
No, you are, because a father is a big responsibility. You're teaching other lives to become better people in this world, so you should pat yourself on the back and don't say that.
Don't even say it, Rick.
I don't know. If you know this guy like I do, do we want more of him in this world?
It's too late, brother. It's too late. But that's amazing. Gosh, I mean, so that's what actually takes care of your bills. Obviously, the health profession stuff. So you're able to paint. I'm assuming you paint whenever you're not working, or you just paint all the time, or every second of the moment.
Actually, I don't paint during the day, and I only paint at night like a vampire.
I was looking at your picture. That makes a lot of sense.
I was like, okay, when do you sleep?
Never.
Never.
There are some nights I don't sleep. There's been nights that I would like bang out like 4 paintings and not sleep till 6 o'clock in the morning, and then nap for about a half an hour, 45 minutes, and get up because my little kitty wants to get up and eat, and now I gotta wake up and feed him, and now I'm up for the whole day because he doesn't want me to sleep anymore. And then if I lay in bed too much, he'll come and nip my face. So there are times I don't even sleep, to be honest with you.
Wow.
And those are the times that I create the most magical pieces that affect someone's life, is when I'm not sleeping, I'm in the moment, I'm doing my thing, and I know it's going to go for something greater than myself.
Now, earlier you made a statement that your grandfather told you. That is worthy of the wall. My question is, do you have that anywhere in your house, your apartment, whatever you live in? Do you have that statement, strong like bull, Mike is like a camera?
I have his picture.
Mine, whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was talking to Rick. I was yelling at him. Sorry.
Well, I have his picture where he does make that statement, because whenever he takes a picture, he puts his fist up like he's like Popeye the Sailor Man, and he'll take his fist up and he'll put it up with a shot of vodka, because, you know, Polish people drink a lot of vodka. So he has the shot of vodka with the hand up in the air, and that's his statement of strong like bull. And I always have that picture with me. That picture never leaves me. And then when I leave the house, that picture is with me in my purse.
Very nice. See, now I like it even more because vodka's my preferred drink.
Actually, I like Cafe Patron on the rocks.
Interesting. I mean, I drink a little bit of everything, but I haven't been drinking a long. Don't act like I'm an alcoholic. I haven't drank that much in a long time. I have an occasional drink. Now, not like my co-host Sean, who.
Yeah, if you meet our co-host Sean, he's Irish and Irish blood in him, so you know how the Irish people can get.
My wife is Irish, so that explains a lot too. But that's, I mean, it's amazing. I'm impressed. Well, kind of sad that when you said you approached Soho and Oho about your paintings and they kind of asked these questions and they turned you away, and obviously it made you tear up a little bit, but you were determined to continue on and do it a different way, and you felt your art was valued and needed to go elsewhere. I feel, in no way do I equate myself to being you, but when it comes to our podcast, at times when I feel people who reject us and neglect us because we don't have this or we don't do that, don't really take a chance on you and really get to know who you are. And I think these people are going to realize down the road that they made a big mistake in pushing you away. You're extremely talented, and we really do like your art. Thank you.
I really appreciate that. I actually have been feeling that way for the past like 4 months. I'm like, wow, all these people that said no to me, I wonder what they're going to think when like I'm out there a little bit more and they start seeing me more, because there's a real huge project I'm working on that I can't say at the moment until I finish the piece. And, they're actually going to put me on a website as well, but it's so huge. It's so big to the point where I never thought that I would get a phone call like that ever in my life. Like, I'm getting chills right now just even speaking about it. But yeah, like it was very, how should I say this? Very hurtful to my heart. And it pained me too, because some people in my family as well told me my art was a pipe dream and you're not going to make it, give it up, you know, you should be focusing on a career, getting a pension, doing this, doing that. Now, if I sat there and listened to everybody, I wouldn't be helping people. And I did 2 paintings that impact people with domestic violence and anybody that's been abused. And if I didn't do that and certain things didn't happen to me in my life, we're not robots. We're supposed to be here helping each other. And if like I said, if I listened to everybody else in my life, where would I be right now? I took all my talent, probably stick it in a closet, and no life that I've touched currently would ever been touched or healed.
The young man who you gave the painting to, the autistic child, I mean, who knows what would have happened. Obviously, it would have been a different path for him. I understand what you're saying, and I feel that, I mean, myself and Rick, we've encountered things in our past, obviously from relatives, older relatives telling us, what you're doing, obviously like yourself. You need to focus on being a man, and learning how to grow up and do this, and you should do that. And that's not how you act as a man. And I'm like, really? You have the nerve and the audacity to sit here and tell me this stuff, yet you can't follow the plan either. I'm like, no. But again, now getting advice from someone elder like your father or your grandfather or your mother or your grandmother saying, you need to focus on getting a job, make sure you're doing well. There's nothing wrong with doing this other stuff, but just make sure you have this covered. That's totally different. That I get.
That's different.
They're not there trying to bury your talent or trying to discourage you. They want you to shoot it, but they also want you to have a place to land back on your feet if it doesn't work out, or if it takes longer than expected. That's the kind of support people need, and that's the kind of support I give my children, Rick. I'm just messing with you, Rick. Rick knows I love my children dearly, and he knows how I am. He jokes a lot about me, and I appreciate everything Rick says about me. I consider him to be probably the best cousin I have, hands down. I mean, seriously, there's nobody better than him. I can't say. Cool. A good thing is, like, my grandfather, when he passed, his grandfather we had the same one. When he passed, I got to play taps. And, was very, chilling, and they did the 21 gun salute and everything else. But the best part about it was when everybody spoke of him, there wasn't a single negative word spoken about him at all. And my grandmother made that statement. She goes, no one ever could say anything bad about him. And granted, that can never be said about me. Mm-hmm. But the highest praise I can give my cousin here is I believe when he passes, the same thing will be said about him. And that's his inspiration, the type of person he is what I feel when I'm talking to you. I think you guys touch people in a certain way, and that's just outstanding. I mean, it's emotional. It's overcoming me here a little bit, because I love the fact that you're helping people, because that's what people need help. And Rick, lightning is not going to strike you. I know I'm freaking you out because I've been on nice here. He's not used to me being this way at times. I mean, I have these moments, and he knows, but it's very few and far between. It has to be someone inspiring, someone who grabs me by grabs me deep down by the heartstrings, and come on, an artist who's willing to do stuff to help people. I mean, we're so into this. We're hoping down the road you're able to do anything. We don't want to ever assume we can get anything. You make something, you give it to us, and we do something here, and we try to get donations done for some charitable organization here in Houston. Obviously, we went through Harvey, and a lot of people still haven't recovered from that. So down the road, if you're willing to help us out or do something like that, we'll be more than happy to try to do something here for you in Houston. Granted, we don't have that big of a reach. We're not some big old podcast with 1 million followers and 10,000 downloads for every episode.
But that's not what it's about. It's not about going on the biggest podcast. It's not about going on the biggest TV show. It's not about being in the biggest newspaper. It's about being on one area, one person who's interviewing you, one person who's willing to take your story and help somebody else with it that needs it the most. And to be quite frank, if it gets to a bigger area where I'm on bigger TV or bigger radio stations, but it's not going to be as homey, as authentic, and as sentimental, I should say, as when you're doing it with something that's more of a close knit. To me, anything big or small are all the same to me. So if I went and spoken to the President of the United States currently right now, I would be speaking to a regular person. And I'm thinking that in my head. And for example, I'm just going to give you a quick story. When I wanted a job and I didn't know what I wanted to do, you know the guy from JP Morgan and Chase, Jamie Dimon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I said, you know what? If I have the guts to do this, I could do anything. And this is when these art galleries went and turned me down, and I'm hearing stuff from my family. And I'm like, you know what? I got to do something for me so I have money in my pocket and I could still do what I love to do. And nobody was giving me an opportunity for a job. Honestly, I didn't graduate from college. I didn't get a regular high school diploma. I have a GED. like George Foreman and a lot of other people who made it big. But it's not about like having that master's. Yes, it's good to have it, but it depends on what you're doing. So long story short, I researched who he was, put it in an email, said, hey, listen, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. I'm not sure if banking's right for me. Do you know, within 2 weeks after I get an email from him thanking me, sending him an email, Global Human Resources reached out to me. And then 2 weeks later, I'm working in the Chrysler building for Chase.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So to me, you can go reach the most biggest singer, and you can reach the president of the United States, and you can go and reach like whomever. If you got that spirit, you got those correct words that can reach that person, you'll get anything you want in life. And it's not about being big. It's about being you, being authentic, and getting the job done of what you want.
Here recently, I think, or I don't know how recent ago, Michael's? Did you do something with Michael's, the arts and crafts store?
Well, I didn't do anything with them. I just basically, because I'm doing a huge project and I'm doing a couple other things, I just took a picture of, the artwork in front of Michael's, what I bought, and I always buy from Michael's. Michael's is my spot, and sometimes I go to Blick. But Michael's has the best stuff for the best prices. And yeah, so I didn't do anything with them. I just wanted to shout them out.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I thought that you were doing something. That'd be pretty cool if Michael's would carry some of your stuff. I think that'd be pretty awesome. And if they
if
they would do something, if they would also link it in there, like if you purchase any of this art from Yolanda, Mozdzen, this amount will go to charitable organization. Now, it's interesting. And the reason why, every once in a while in this world, you meet someone amazing. You're definitely one of those people. I have the pleasure of meeting Zeke Donnelly. Zeke Donnelly is a comic book artist, and he, had what happened there, Rick? You still there, Yolanda?
I am.
Okay, I thought we lost you. The thing just did something really weird.
She gave us
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, you gave us a heart. Okay.
Yeah.
I gave you guys
a heart.
I didn't know what that was. Like, is our computer having a heart attack? But,
well, if I was, I got my stethoscope and I took a little
but Zeke is a comic book writer, and, basically, he has aneurysms and he has a lot of problems.
Oh.
Great guy. I love him to death. And, he does a lot of stuff. And he wrote a comic book, about Soulstar. It was a young man a superhero with aneurysms. And he approached me since he knew us. And so my sons actually got to draw in his book. And then based on that, he then went to the high school that my sons were going at, and they all drew, junior high, and they all drew in his book. And so his book's out there. So you go out and buy Soulstar, for, I think eBay or whatever the other place. The majority of the money goes to the aneurysm foundation to help people out.
Okay.
So it's amazing. So I love, Zeke is a really good friend. I'd go to the ends there. If he needed anything, I'd drive to California right now for him. And you're the kind of person, you inspire me like he did too. So that's really cool. Rick, I know you got questions. I can hear them coming out.
Cause I know you like the young kids, in the hospital or everything. And here's the geekiness or the nerdiness right here coming out. All these superhero movies that have been coming out. Mm-hmm. Any of these inspire you to do a painting that maybe that would inspire these kids also?
I mean, I never thought about that in a way, only because I've never thought that my art was good enough in Marvel or comics or all these superhero movies. I never thought that my art would be even, good enough to that stature. You're actually making me think about that right now. That's kind of cool. One, I have an idea before I forget. I'm going to do a couple paintings for, you guys in Houston for Hurricane Harvey, and I'm going to send them out to you so I don't forget. And
thank
two,
you.
You're welcome. Yeah, no way. I did it for Hurricane Sandy when we had it over here. And I also did a painting for the 9/11 firefighters who passed away in 9/11. And I'm all about helping out when we need it the most. I mean, I may not be able to give money, but I may be able to give something that can raise money or maybe can affect somebody's life in a positive way. Now, your question to me was amazing. there's this one painting that I did that I have leaning against my wall that looks like it could be a backdrop to maybe, a superhero, maybe, movie or something to that effect. Now you're making me think of doing something where I've never done before, and I'm going to create something Marvel-esque, I'm going to call it, and I'm going to reach out to, you know what? I'm going to be that daring. I'm going to reach out to Marvel.
Oh,
and I'm going to ask them if they have a charity for children to inspire children to create art wherever they are. Whatever they're feeling, whenever they're feeling it, can you inspire children to create art? And then you're going to have your Marvel artists in the future.
Wow.
You just gave me that idea.
Well, you're welcome.
Well, that's interesting then. Not just Marvel, you could actually reach out to DC or Image or anything like that. And I actually have a connection there. So, a connection to DC and Image is one of my fellow artists who I've known from a while now, Steve Orlando. He started off doing, regular indie comics and now he works for DC, but he still does his indie stuff on the side. He's amazing. He's up in New York as well.
No way.
I think Albany. He's up or someplace I can.
Okay.
But, I'm going to reach out to him and see what I can see if there's anything he can tell me and I'll point him towards you or whatever, get you toward him.
Yeah.
In regards to you doing the Harvey paintings, we can only say thank you. And I'm just amazed by that and you're willing to help us. We don't know enough charitable people to do that, but we've made contacts with some media people here in Houston now, and we'll probably reach out to them and see if they can help us. You know what I'm talking about, right? We're talking like Teresa from 94.5 The Buzz, a big radio station here, or Brandy Smith from KHOU Channel 11, or Justin Stapleton from Channel 2 here in Houston. Yeah. I've given them shout outs because they are amazing people. We got to meet them all at once. And it was like, you guys came to talk to us? What?
We were like the popular people at Comic-Con at that point.
Yeah, we were.
Like everybody was around us at that point.
It was so cool. And to meet these people, and they're like so cool. And so it's just like sometimes you're astonished by the people you meet.
Because you want to know why? You want to know why?
What's that?
It's because of the energy that you guys have pulled those people towards you because of what you're doing, because of how many people you're talking to and how many people you're willing to help. Like myself. You don't know me. You only met me through Twitter, but you're giving me this opportunity to talk to you guys, get to know you guys, put my story out there. How great is that? You're helping people help people. So you deserve it. You deserve meeting people like that.
Have you actually listened to this podcast? Because you saying a lot of nice things about us, and I think the guys were in here to be like, I guess you don't know Miguel.
Well, listen, we could have our funny sides, but I'm saying the real, authentic you guys. Like, yeah, you can have your funny side, your sarcastic side, but hey, we're all human. Life is meant to be not boring, correct?
I like her.
I don't know about Miguel. I mean, the only human part is because he's related to me, but there's some other parts I'm like, whoa.
Hey, look. She's Team Miguel. Get off and forget it. She's on my team now. You guys can hate. Who are some of the charities that actually have worked with you so far? I'd like to give them a shout. Let them have some recognition on this as well. We'll definitely, because our guy Sean can put up the links or whatever, and we can mention them on Twitter and whatnot, and just kind of want to know so they know that you came on our show and you can kind of say these guys are some of the ones that helped us out so far.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you. The first charity I've ever done in my life was when I was working for a bus company. For the New York, Department of Ed, and I walked by this church, and that was my first authentic giving to charity. It was St. Mary's Church in Long Island City. And then I've done, other little small charities that probably wouldn't want to be named. And then after that was, the Immerman Angels, the Hope for Marietta Foundation, American Heart Association. I've done a couple of battered women and homeless children, foundations, but they would probably want to be nameless. I've done now Amber Court, in Long Island, the residential living area with Alicia Stern. She's on Twitter as well with a couple of my Twitter stuff, so you'll be able to see her. Geez, there's so many.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, there's so many. I'm doing a really, really, really big one that's coming up really soon. That, like I said, gave me chills up and down my spine. I literally, when that phone call came in, I almost dropped my phone and my phone almost cracked on the floor. Let's just say that. I never thought in my life that somebody of that big of a stature would contact me.
Well, whenever you get ready to drop that bomb, feel free to give us a call, let us know, or hit us up on Twitter Messenger, and we'll help share that message everywhere.
Thank you. And then, now I gotta look real quick, but I've helped 25, maybe 30 charities in total. And this one was an outreach program for children who don't have, shoes or clothes, and the mothers just leave them to the side and they basically have nothing. And then what I'm also currently working on, they would really love this shout out, is a water charity for building water in Africa to make sure that they have clean water. It's called Well Aware. They're on Facebook. They're called Well Aware. Now I'm going to be doing a painting that's going to be helping these children get fresh water in their housing. And they also help build these houses for them, school districts and different things of that nature. And they're amazing people. I can't say enough.
I just found them on Twitter, Well Aware World.
Yeah.
At Well Aware, I just followed them.
Yeah.
Austin, Texas, Rick.
Nice.
Austin, Texas. Yeah. I went to La Villa Vista Bed and Breakfast, and I gave them a couple of paintings too because they helped heal my heart. And I woke up to Lake Travis and I went to sleep to Lake Travis. Let's just say that because my room had a sunroom and a balcony, but then it also had a hot tub looking over Lake Travis.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a balcony. I have a pool. No, I don't. It's dirty.
I have a above ground pool. But this is the first place I treated myself to ever that I said, you know what? It's worth to spend this money. And when I did, it brought so much to my life. Coming back from Texas is not even funny. And that big phone call is a part of Texas.
Wow. You know what?
Yeah.
She should, the next time she comes to Houston, she should look us up and come into the studio.
Oh, that'd be cool. And I've never visited Houston before, so I think I want to.
It's hot.
It's hot.
There's no Lake Travis. There's Lake Conroe, but you don't want to go there.
You have horses? You have horses? You have ranches? I love horses.
That's on the outskirts.
Yeah, the outskirts. Yeah.
On the outskirts? Okay.
Other than that, we're just like a normal city.
There's a guy with a horse outside by my house. He's got a horse. There's a donkey out there too, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like where we're at. I mean, yeah, we say Houston, but we're actually right outside of Houston in Richmond.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're kind of in the outskirts.
Yeah, and I'm like even further out than that. I'm out in the country. Okay. When they say out in the sticks, that's me.
You're out in the woods with the sticks.
Yep. And my 8 dogs, my 4 cats, I have a pasture across me, okay? There's cattle. That's how deep in the sticks I am. But I love it out there. Couldn't trade him for nothing. That's pretty cool that you were in Austin and that happened for you. I know you can't really tell us the big secret yet.
No.
but that's cool, though.
I want to.
No, that's okay. We understand.
I want to so bad, and I want to just scream it out to the world, but I can't. No. I wish I could.
When I meet someone who does something that's just gives it their all, invested, just all the way, and just willing to die and just do whatever they can to change someone else's life or to their trade or so, it's like the passion just comes out when you talk to them. You can't help but be inspired.
Exactly.
I'm coming away from, I will be honest with you, I will come away from this interview with you more inspired than I was before I came in. Granted, I've met a lot of people, they've inspired me, but you've also inspired me a little bit more, making me want to take a bigger leap on other things that I'm thinking of doing. And it's not just yourself. My cousin Rick does it too. My friends here, my daughter, my sons, my wife, everyone inspired. I can tell my wife this every day. My wife is a school teacher. Now she's an AP. I told her as a school teacher, because people have talked her down a couple times, and I'm like, as a school teacher, you've done amazing things. You took care of kids that no one ever wanted to deal with. You took a kid that no one wanted to deal with because they said it was a pain. He stunk, whatever it was. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I don't want to be really generic on it. I mean, all I don't want to really get to the specifics, I guess.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
But you took care of this child, and this child came back and looks up to you now. And now this child is being successful. This child is doing great. He went from being a struggling student now to making A's. So you did that because you took time. You gave, pardon my language, you gave two shits about him where no one else did. And you stepped up. And I said, that's what you did. I said, and you didn't just focus on the ones that are having problems. I told my wife, this is how you focus with everyone. I see it when I come into the classroom. It just, kids don't come back to you and hug you after they've been gone for many years because kids don't really like school sometimes. No. And especially their teachers. But if you can sit here in this chair, I'm 46 years old and I can sit here and remember my kindergarten teacher, my third grade teacher, and still remember them fondly as probably the greatest teachers I've ever had in my entire life. That tells you something. And I'll never forget them. Miss Galloway, my kindergarten teacher, amazing. Miss Summers, my third grade teacher who inspired me to be who I am now. Along with my relatives. So that's that, you're changing people's lives. God bless you for that. May you have even more success, maybe bigger doors open for you so you're able to do more. I will do what I can. Rick will do what we will do what we can here. You have people that follow you that follow me. I don't know them personally on a name basis, but I know they're in New York as well. I know I can only mention things, and that's what I'm going to try to do. Maybe they'll contact you. Maybe they won't. Hopefully they will. I'll try to build a nice case for them.
Oh, yes. You're so sweet.
Oh, thank you very much. You heard that, Rick? You heard that, Sean? No, I'm just kidding. Now, and this is something Rick probably would have said as well. Anyway, so I'm not trying to take credit for myself. This is something we would do as a team. Myself, Rick, Sean, Kyle, and Josh. We do this as a team. We are literally out there trying to help as many people as we can, just like you are. We're not big enough. We're not, like I said, we don't have 1 million followers, 1,000 downloads, 1 million downloads, but we do what we can. And the people that we do have following us are very engaging and very good people. So they'll do what they can to help out. That's all I have to say on that. Rick, I know I talked too much, Rick. Please go ahead.
I'm just saying, this is, we're all one big voice and we all help each other.
Even though I seem to have the biggest one.
Well, we just let it go.
We let it go. They let me scream at the Comic-Con this past week and they didn't know what happened.
But, it's all.
I always wanted to go to one.
You really should come down to Comicpalooza here in Houston and you stay at the hotel across the street and, even get a table or whatever. It's a great time. It really is.
You'd probably make a killing with some of your paintings.
Yeah, you probably would because we have a lot of people that's that come in and especially if you advertise beforehand and you tell the Comicpalooza people like you're coming in and this is what you're trying to do. They may even jump behind you on that. You never know because our Comicpalooza here now is actually backed by the city of Houston too. So that's why I'm saying if I'm able to pull this off with talking to these Houston personalities. Maybe they might be able to do something, maybe try to pull you down here for Comicpalooza. You never know. You never know.
Wow.
Yeah. You never know. Like, things are just, you never know how things fall. Good things happen to good people. You tend to walk into situations like, well, I'll use my wife as an example. She's in a bad situation, was praying on, and next a great situation opened up that she thought would never happen. So I firmly believe you live well, you do things right, things are going to go well for you.
It's
not going to happen all at once. And sometimes you're going to get tested.
It never does.
You'll get tested.
Never does.
We can test it hard.
Oh, yeah. You'll get tested hard. But a firm thing that our grandmother, Rick's and my grandmother, has always told us is you're never going to get more than what you can carry. And the point that you can't carry, and I don't know how religious you are, and Rick, Jesus will be there to hold you. He'll be there to help you. And so we're firm believers. We're not drinking all religious, Rick. Rick's looking at me like, what the heck?
No, it's absolutely true because like when I'm at my lowest point, I pray, and then as soon as like I say I need an answer or I need, help or guidance, out of nowhere I get the answer, and it may not be where I thought it would come from, but it's there. I never thought a door would open like that, but it did. And to be quite honest with you, I don't sell my artwork for myself at all, ever. And the artwork that I do have, that I give to charities, I do not sign paperwork for any type of monetary value back. And I do not tax it at the end of the year because I feel once you give, you're not supposed to receive. No. And so many people give to charitable organizations and they're like, oh yeah, I get a tax break. Oh yeah, I do this. What's the point of giving? And to be honest with you, the fact that you guys are actually talking to me about not only just this podcast, your personal experiences and different things and reaching out to other people for me, you don't even know me. Like, you're touching my heart more than I've been touched in a very long time, and I'm very grateful to have this time with you guys tonight. I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you very much. Shut up, Rick. I ain't going to say anything.
You're getting me emotional now.
Yeah. I've done my job. Let it be known I make women cry in less than, an hour? Jeez. Didn't take me that long.
I'm going to give both of you, and how many people do you have in your group?
There's 5 of us total.
5 of us total.
5 total. So I have a series of abstracts. It's an abstract art series. So I'm going to send 5 abstract pieces to you guys, plus the 2 for Houston.
Cool.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know either.
That's amazing. That's very generous of you. We appreciate that. It will be hung in our studio.
If you can see our studio, we have posters. We have stuff all over the walls, stuff that we've gotten, stuff.
And I want to do one for your wife.
Oh,
because she's a teacher, and because she gives, she needs to get something back for everything that she's done. I'm going to do this special womanly, flowery, something or another to make her say, at the end of the day, this is why it's worth it.
Now you're trying to get me.
Now you're going to make him cry.
Now you're going to make me cry.
You got a tissue right here.
Thanks, Rick, because I'm not crying yet. My wife makes fun of me because I cry at sad movies. Shut up, Rick. You know what? You are amazing. That's all I can say. I tend to use that word a little too much, so I'm going to use a different word. You're stupendous. I can't help it. Extravagant. Oh, look at you, Rick. Where's the thesaurus when I need him? Where's Josh when I need him?
Josh or Sean.
Right? I know. Sean would have loved talking to you. And Sean is the youngest member of our podcast. He's the millennial. Okay. But Sean is extremely smart. Aww. He is very well read and does all kinds of stuff. And he would know a lot more in-depth artist type questions to ask you that we don't have any freaking clue. I mean, you mentioned Picasso and those other, I couldn't even tell you what, I mean, and this is sad, we were guests of the Literally Short Film Festival last year, and we missed it this year, Rick, in case you didn't notice. It was this past week. We were all swamped and overwhelmed with work. We couldn't make it. But they had art in there too. And it was amazing pieces of art. And we're sitting there taking pictures like, we have no clue who did these, but they were like, awesome. So yeah, we're idiots when it comes to this, but that's why when you decided to come on our show, I was like, oh wow, this is going to be interesting. I don't know anything. I can only draw stick figures.
But I'm not, but guess what? I'm not a conventional artist that went to art school and listened to art teachers and say, okay, you got to do it with this color and do it with that frame. And you have to stay this stature. Why do you think a lot of the paintings nowadays look the same?
True. Very true.
They look the same because everybody goes to school and is taught one way, or you're seeing somebody else's work. I'm going to tell you a little secret. I don't look at anybody else's artwork.
Not to be influenced, right?
Yeah, because if I come into passing, I do not want to create something that I've seen, because my mind's a camera, of their visions. If I see it because it's on the internet, okay, I'll click it, like it, but I won't sit there and stare at it for a very long time because I don't want to create their images. That makes me a little different in that sense. But like, I think the structuredness of art school is cool, but I think they need to teach people how to feel more while they're in art school. So everything can be different like it was back in the day.
Yeah, everything
one
can be
thing
one
I
of a
want to
kind.
touch on, one thing that just irks me, to be honest with you, you go to these, I'm not going to say the name of the museum, you see a blank canvas with a blank dot. That's black. That's worth millions of dollars because of a name. Anybody can sit there and draw a black dot.
See, I'd be the guy to go up there and, I put some oil. My bad. No, I wouldn't do that.
It's like, I joke when I see that in movies. They're like, oh, I love this piece. I'm like, it's a dot.
He does. He really does. It's hilarious.
I was just like, really? It's like,
a dot?
Yeah. Going back to what you just said, and it makes perfectly sense, and it also reads into what you put in your profile, that you paint with your heart, your mind, and soul. That you don't follow contemporary people, how they do everything. Everything's the same, square, because we all went to college here at the Art Festival, Art Institute, God knows wherever they went. Yeah, you're right. That's all generic, it's all bland. It's like sending a kid to college, and they go to college, and the professor they have has warped them into their way of thinking, and then like, yeah, okay, I know not to deal with you because you're in college head right now. When you get to the real world, you'll understand. Cause my daughter, when she went to college, her professor was talking to her, was like, I'm like, what? Okay, you know what? I'm going to argue with you because number one, I went to college and I know what. Yeah, it's like you're being put in this box and you don't want to be in this box. You want to be outside the box. And
Exactly.
That's cool. That's refreshing. And that's how you need to be because you don't want to be the same as everyone else. You want to be an individual.
Exactly.
You want to stand out. Hence me. I stand out. No one is like me. There's only one of me in this world, and everybody's thankful.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, we are.
I got it perfect, Rick. She doesn't have to. You don't have to send me that picture of the flowers or whatever you're going to send to me. I got it perfect. I've been working. Here comes the fun part.
Yeah, and to all the artists in the world, I don't degrade anything you guys do, and you guys are all amazing. But sometimes it's okay to not be structured. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Very true. We degrade everybody. That was a piece of crap. No, I'm just kidding. We don't ever do that. But I got it. Here it is. This is going to be the fun part. But actually, I should let her. Tell you what, before I go into that craziness, let's go ahead and let's give some shout outs to give everybody all your Twitter information, all your website information, and all that stuff you want to do real quick.
My website is www.ymozzart.com. Kind of sounds like Mozart because of my first and last name. Then Yolanda D Mozdzen at Facebook, and then Yolanda Mozdzen at Twitter, and Yolanda _Mozdzen at Instagram. And my last name is spelled again, Mozdzen. And I really appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate anybody who's listening, and you guys are all amazing. Everybody's meant to be individual for a reason. We're here for a purpose, and we're all here to help each other and not to be alone.
Yes.
That's awesome. Now, here comes the fun part. Rick said, this is the part you want to go. Just like I tried to get Ish to do this, I'm going to have her do this. Maybe I'll fly to New York or I'll wait till she comes down to Houston. Me laying on the couch.
No.
Canvassing me naked.
No.
I'll be covered up with a fig leaf.
He's talking about doing a Burt Reynolds spread.
I can't paint people. I can't do portraits.
It'd be awesome because you could
another artist for that one.
No, you could just do a stick figure.
No, I can't even do sticky figures. It won't work.
No, just throw paint on the canvas and that's Miguel. I'll be like, wow, that's beautiful. I'll be like, that's beautiful. That's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
There's a canvas that I had on the floor and my cat was painting. So maybe my cat has the eye of doing portraits.
Ah.
Not me.
So,
you guys are really cool.
All right, we appreciate that. So, Rick, how many personal questions we want to hit her with now? Personal.
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 This is the tough part of the interview. This is where everybody starts to cringe and they hang up. They're like, hello? No, I'm just kidding. No, we're just joking. I don't want to make you cringe. I just had you crying. Why would I?
Well, I will say is that for a lot of women or men out there who feel that because they're single at the age of 40, it's okay. I have no children, was never married, still looking for that right guy, and it's okay to be alone. Yeah, sometimes it's not nice, but it's alright. You just live and you do what you need to do and you go on.
You're 40?
Yeah.
I didn't think you were 40. I thought you were much younger.
Oh, wait, thank you. Everybody says that all the time. You know what it is? It's my heart. My heart's young, so then maybe my outside's young. Plus, I don't go tanning. I don't do all that stuff that everybody else does.
It's the same thing with me. Like when I'm what, 40, I can't even remember my own age. I'm 43? And a lot of people look at me, they're like, well, it's like, there's one girl at work. She goes, Rick, how old are you? I said, I'm 43. 43?
Thank you. I'm deaf now. Thanks for screaming in the phone.
And I was like, yeah. I said, how old do you think I was? She goes, I thought you were like, maybe you're 30 years old. I was like, yes. That's what I was going for.
I thought you guys were in your mid-30s.
Thank you.
Miguel's older than me.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Yes, I am.
He's the grandpa.
Yeah. If you look on the website, I am the oldest. I am 46. I'll be 47 this year.
Oh, no way.
But I still act like I'm 12.
See, they say when the heart and mind is young, we look young.
Oh, yeah.
It's the truth. Like, I just turned 40 in January. So it's not even that far off. So to me, I've never even felt my age. sometimes I get scared because, like, 40, big 40, not married, no kids, and, like, but if I was married and have kids, would I have the time to do what I'm doing right now? I don't know.
It'd be a lot
So
tougher.
everything happens for a reason, I guess.
Yeah.
It's okay. Rick's single. I'll send him up to New York. I gave him the seal of approval. He's a good guy.
So what personal question you going to hit her?
I was going to hit her with no personal question. That was
I thought you were going to do, okay, let's do the top 20 questions going down.
No, I'm not going to do that. You don't do that on the podcast. You do that on the phone with, never mind.
I thought you were going to be like, favorite color?
What's your favorite color? It has to be, I'm going to say it's blue.
My favorite color, to be honest with you, I don't really have one, but if I were to wear one a lot or see one around me, it would be purple.
So you're Polish and what else? Or just Polish?
I'm Polish. I was born, Polish descent. That's the correct term of saying it because I was born in America. And I have like, I think 10 or 12% of German in me, but that's about it.
No dogs?
No dogs?
Yeah. We've had dogs. This is my first cat I've ever owned in my life. And back then I thought all cats smelled and I thought they were just like mean until I met a cat, which was 3 years ago, who turned my life around, but that cat passed away and gave me the love of cats to adopt this one that I have now. And his name is Spiky Jr. Don't ask me who Spiky Sr. is.
So being that we're all nerdy here, have you really read comic books before?
I have. I've read Spider-Man. I've read, you're gonna laugh, the Smurfs. They had the Smurfs comics back in the day. Then there was He-Man and She-Ra.
Golly, this is all the stuff we grew up with.
I know. You're old, Rick.
Yeah. He-Man and She-Ra, and then, I forgot the name of this other one, but it's a very cool one when I think of it, and I Google it, I'll remember to tell you guys, but
that's cool.
It's a lot of flying and punching and kicking and pows and all these different sayings in the book. I just don't remember which. Oh, and Garfield.
Okay, my wife loves Garfield. I buy her Garfield. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thundercats. She likes Garfield. I love Thundercats too.
Rick, she's calling everything we want. Yeah, my wife is a big Garfield person. I buy her Garfield stuff all the time. I buy her Garfield calendar. Yeah, she loves Garfield and Wonder Woman.
And how about to say,
Wonder Woman's her big thing. So I buy her anything.
Cool,
anytime I see Wonder Woman stuff, I pick it up for her.
Nah, you're making me remember that show Alf now.
Alf? The one that would eat the cats?
You just made me remember that show. I haven't thought about that show in ages.
You know what's funny? My sister has a stuffed Alf.
No.
Yeah, she has an Alf from back in the day. Yeah, she still has it.
And what's funny is our other co-host, Kyle, that's one of his favorite shows back in the day, too.
Oh, really?
Alf was great. I used to love watching Alf. That's funny. I don't know if I should take that. How should I take that? A compliment or not? You remind me of Alf. What, the alien? I'm not illegal. I'm from here. I beat you to it, Rick. Ha ha. Here's a good one for you. Any tattoos? Any piercings?
I have a tattoo on my arm. It's going to be a little sentimental. Huh. My grandmother passed away from breast cancer, maybe 22 years ago. And I got a tattoo on my arm. I just decided because I've always believed in faith. So I designed my own tattoo. And it says faith with a tribal design, but the guy messed it up and everybody thinks it says bitch.
Oh,
excuse my French.
Oh, you don't worry about the language.
It's all messed up now.
Oh, we can get it fixed.
I'm going to get it fixed. You can bleep that part out, but
no. We're going to leave it in there because, like, she cussed on the show. Yeah. No.
But that's what people think. And I'm like, no, how could you think that of me?
I understand.
Of everybody else, but me? No, I wouldn't wear something like that. But I'm thinking of getting a tattoo of an American Indian tribal design with a feather because I created these. Oh, I have to tell you real quick. So I'm on the train going to Long Island. And I have these paintings that I have for the seniors and the vets and all this stuff. everybody's trying to bump me, push me on the train, don't care I have canvases on me. They just don't care because it's rush hour. It's in the morning. Who could care, about, a girl with a whole bunch of paintings? This other woman right behind me says, you lost? I'm like, yeah, well, I'm trying to find this train to go somewhere. And it's really frustrating me, these people. And then she's like, oh no, so this is where you go and this is what you do. And I was like, you know what? You were really sweet to me. I'm going to give you these 2 wooden pieces. One is for you and one is for whoever you want to give it to. And then she was like, well, and then she started to talk about this American Indian woman that she takes care of that wears 2 feathers around her neck given by the American Indian Society or something like that. She gave it to the woman and I gave it to her. And I think because of that reason, I'm going to get something spiritual on my leg. My thigh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a cross on my left upper part of my shoulder for my grandmother. And I have I have a Mardi Gras Sylvester on my right shoulder for being a party animal. And then on my right cap, I have the Batman Harley Quinn symbol.
And he don't want to talk about his tramp stamp.
I don't have a tramp stamp. I'm just kidding. I'm working on that big spider, but I'm afraid. So, I knew you were going to say that, Rick. What about?
I have a question for you guys.
Uh-oh.
What made you both go into podcasting and doing what you do right now? And what's the most craziest thing you both done?
Okay. Well, it's okay. Hang on, Rick. Wait. Do we have to keep this clean? Or
going into podcasting, it was just a way to throw our voice out there. It was like something like, hey, if all these other people can do it, why the hell can I?
Who inspired you, Rick?
Actually, a lot of podcasters inspire me, even though you're trying to throw it on because you were doing it beforehand. But
come on, Rick.
But we actually, even Kyle said, it wasn't just because of you. It's not about you.
It's always about me.
It was just like, we heard all these other ones and we were like, we have a voice. What if we start talking about this stuff?
Who was your first major guest, Rick?
See, look, it's all about him. See how he is?
I just like to egg it.
But no, I mean, honestly, that's how he's like, it's a voice that we can throw out there. And then if everybody wants to hear us, they want to hear us. If they don't, who gives a care?
Yeah, true. I started podcasting beforehand, like he said, and thought I didn't really want to do it. I shied away from it because of doing other stuff that I do, coaching high school girls basketball at a private college, high school. I couldn't have a lot of stuff out there about myself, but I was kind of stepping away from that a little bit. But I just didn't want to do it. I didn't feel I was funny enough, but people started telling me and my buddy that we were really funny. And so we started it. He got me in. My wife twisted my arm a little bit and I got into it and then I couldn't stop. And then it just became an addiction to me almost. And then we wound up ending our podcast, not on good terms. And again, it wasn't my call, but, my cousin and Kyle and Sean, they called me up and said, hey, you want to join us? And I was in limbo. I'm not going to lie to you. I was kind of like distraught a little bit. And these guys here kind of like reinvigorated me and I've been happy since. So, this is probably the best time I've had and I owe them all that because this is a lot of fun. And my wife will tell you, she listens to us and she finds us funny. Now as for the craziest thing, Rick, what's the craziest thing you've ever done? You took the priest's money. I'll do that.
Craziest thing ever done. It's like, is this when I'm sober or not sober?
Yeah. Because we're going to throw this question back to her too.
I guess, I don't know if you'd call it crazy.
Wait, Rick, wait. This is a test. She's trying to find out how you are. So get her a good story so you get on her good side. Yeah. This is slow talking DJ here. I love matters.
Most craziest thing, which means most dangerous thing I've actually done was I actually, when I went to, a friend of mine calls me up, hey, come meet me at this club. I said, fine. Forget that when I go see this one guy, when he buys you a drink, he buys you a drink. And he's the only guy. Kyle spent, I don't know how much money on my birthday and never got me drunk. This guy bought me 2 drinks and I was shit-faced.
Oh, wow.
That's how he knows what to get me drunk with. So when I showed up, I was like, all right. We went from one bar to another bar to another bar. And you can imagine 2 drinks per bar. I was gone.
Oh, geez. What'd you drink?
I don't remember. That's what I'm telling you. I don't remember. I just know it was a lot of mixed. the reason why I say it's dangerous, because I walked back to the car. When I got in the car, I fell asleep in the car, didn't turn it on, no nothing, just went in there and fell asleep because I thought I was too drunk to drive. I'm sitting in downtown Houston with me sleeping in the car. Who knows, with my door unlocked.
Oh, jeez.
Who's going to come and bless the Lord that said nobody there, and I woke up at 6 a.m.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, okay, I think I better get home.
Oh, jeez.
Rick the alcoholic.
I remember a bartender giving me the strongest apple martini I had in my life. He called the cab for me to go home. I don't even remember walking up the stairs going into my apartment. Wow. And I only had 2 of those apple martinis.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go for my story here. I can say so many stories, some that'll probably get me killed, some that no one really know. Some that I probably don't want to talk about. Maybe I could do an army story, but those don't ever end up well either. I have fallen asleep in the car too, Rick, while driving home from a place. I fell asleep at a light. My foot stayed on the brake. The light turned green. I was still on the brake. The car honked and I took off. But that was not really bad. It wasn't too bad. I was just tired.
No. I slept for 4 hours.
Wow. I can top that. I'll go with the safe story. So, prior military, young man, I was in my 20s. But in the military, you can drink at a little younger age, especially at the particular one club. And so I was there. And I was with my buddies, and it was like one of the first times, and had a good time. We're having a blast, dancing, doing all this stuff. And then, of course, I'm on base, and we're walking, so it's not like I'm going to get in a vehicle. And so it's not that far either. So I start walking back. It's like late in the morning or whatever. I'm coming back. Get all that whole pass on the weekend, so you can pretty much stay out, As long as you come back in drunk and they catch you, they're going to mess with you till you throw up. And that's what they do. So if you come back in, you want to kind of beat in the drill so they don't see you walking in. So I was walking in, but for some reason I came around the back way instead of the front way. And I was walking down the sidewalk, and that's all I remember. I wake up in the morning and I'm still outside, but I'm not on the sidewalk. The sidewalk, has a big dip, and it has like a little bridge. Yeah, I was underneath the bridge.
Oh, jeez. There
was no water there because it was all rocks, because it was in Arizona, but I was sleeping underneath it. Yeah, I slept there all night on the rocks.
Oh, wow.
That was the second time. Sleeping on the rocks.
Oh, wow.
So I guess, that's happened to me before. God, I'm trying to think. That wasn't too crazy. Okay. I always tell my children there's nothing they can do that I haven't done. And that's a bad thing to say. And, there's things that my mom and dad don't know that I've done that I can't say. Because I may be 47, but they'll still think they can take me down.
Uh-oh.
So, some stuff I got to take with me to the hole. I can't ever speak of it.
Yeah, of course. Hey, you guys added me on Facebook. That's cool. I just accepted.
Oh, that was me.
Me too.
Yeah, I got it. I just accepted. That was cool.
Stalker Rick. Stalker. Next thing you know, he'll be messing you. He'll be messaging you in the middle of the night like, hey, what's up?
I learned about watching you.
What do you mean learn about watching me?
learn about watching Sean.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. Nobody can see me. I'm in the dark all the time. I only have my candles. And nobody literally can see me. Like, I have, these drapes over my windows, even though they're not supposed to be, covered. But my cat likes to look out the window. But he only likes to look out the window if I have the drape over his, little cat tree thing. If I have it over, he doesn't like it. He likes to hide. So I have to have everything draped. So it's literally, it's almost like a lair. I know this is kind of crazy and spooky and weird or whatever, but I'm literally in the dark with candles all the time at night with my artwork and my paints. I don't even see the colors correctly when I'm painting. That's the freakiest thing about this whole stuff that I do at night.
Oh, I thought you were going to say about yourself. Hey, Rick, she's goth, man. She's all for you. Do you wear the black purple lipstick? The big hoops and the spikes. Wait, who is this lady?
But you want to know what's really cool? When I went to Texas and I stayed at La Villa Vista Bed and Breakfast, I'm going to give them a shout out because they're amazing people. Sean Sasser and the mother Eva, who owns the place. I stayed in the Tuscany room. Let me tell you something. It was so me. They were like, "You sure you don't want a smaller room? You sure it would be better for you? It's a lot cheaper." I'm like, "No, I want that one." They were like, "Really? For a week? It's going to be a little expensive." I said, "No, I want that one." So this is the kicker. So the room looks like an 18th century style Italian Tuscany room, but at night it looks like Count Dracula's room. It looks like you're in a castle with these long candles. And then I was sitting at the Oasis Brewing Company, and I sat there with a glass of beer that tasted like the tropics. Have you ever tasted a beer that tasted like tropics?
No.
Yeah, me either. I saw that on the thing, and I was like, huh? It tastes like the tropics? So I took it, and I sat there, and I drank it. And then in the middle of doing that, I thought these people who were setting up tables were just setting up tables just to sell stuff. I was like, oh, let me take something from Texas to go home to get to my family. They were like, no. They were like, no, ma'am. They were like, this is actually an auction for the Texas School of the Deaf. I'm going to give them a shout out. The Texas School of the Deaf and Special Needs. I said, oh, really? I said, I have a couple canvases in my little La Vista place over here that I'm staying at. I said, do you mind if I go back to my place? I'm going to paint a couple of paintings, bring them back up, and then you can auction them off. They were like, oh my God, really? I was like, yeah. And then I bought a t-shirt from them, and I wore it when I brought back the paintings back up. But this is how cool the room was. Because it looks like Dracula, I closed all the dark curtains. I put the candles on, started painting. Within 15 minutes, I had 2 paintings for them, and it sold close to $200 for them, for their school. And it was the most incredible thing I think I ever done with a charity on spot.
That's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
That's a good story.
So she dresses as Elvira for Halloween.
I was actually Elvira for Halloween when I was in Catholic school.
In Catholic
Oh
school?
my God. That was going to be my next thing if she was Catholic. I was like, oh my gosh. Everything's starting to sound like she's Catholic. There you go, Rick. You're Catholic. She's Catholic. Propose.
God dang it.
Live on this show. We're going to have us. I'll be the wedding guy.
Oh, goodness.
I can go get my marriage. No, we're Catholic, so you need a priest. I can't do that. Even though my priest tried to make me a priest.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
That'd have been scary.
Anyways.
We appreciate you coming on the show, shooting the crap with us and everything else. You're an amazing, and I will say this, an amazing young lady.
Thank you.
And I'm lost again. Come on, Rick. I'm
Lost for words?
Lost for words again because I'm not trying to come across stalky or whatever.
Yes, you are.
No,
I'm not. I'm a married man, Rick. No, you are totally amazing. You're totally awesome. You rock. Everything you do is really cool. How you help people and how you do stuff. That's outstanding. And I love how you're a people person, which is cool, which would make you definitely fit in well with this group. If you were to hang out with us, you'd be in trouble. One, you'd probably get held on by Rick and Sean constantly. Well, no, it'd be funny to see. No, it'd be real fun. It'd be an interesting night to have all of us hanging out because it'd be Colin, his wife, me and my wife, Josh's wife, and you and Sean and Yolanda. That'd be pretty freaking hilarious. I guarantee no one would give you crap because we wouldn't let anybody give you crap.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be hitting. I'd just be drinking.
You know how you get when you're drunk.
Actually, I become more talkative when I drink.
That is true, yeah. But no, we're great guys to hang out with. We respect everybody. We treat everybody the same way. And we love having a good time. That's pretty much the way we are. And
I can see that.
We are just impressed by what you're doing.
Thank
we
you.
hope you get the amazing returns that you honestly deserve. And when you're ready to do any shout outs like that, please feel free to hit us up. Please don't be a stranger. You can hit us on Messenger, on Twitter or whatnot. We're friends with on Facebook now. By all means, you can always talk to us whenever you want to. It doesn't matter. We're here. You're a friend of the show now. You're a friend of ours now. So you're like family. So you know.
Aww. I feel that way. Like, you just made me feel like that. Like, I'm a part of your crew. I'm a part of your friendships. And, like, I feel like you guys became friends of mine as well. Like, because it's not just connecting with people when you have that, like, bond of just like same mind-like stuff, I think everybody should stay friends. And I'm grateful that you guys are like that open to be like that, because life's too short. You only have one.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I was on this podcast. I'm grateful to have met you guys, and that you guys are who you are, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be speaking about what I do, and people probably wouldn't have heard me. And to be honest, I'm really, really grateful that you were the first ones that really interviewed me vocally. You're the only ones that ever have. Like, the only time I've ever been vocally interviewed was on, I think there's video for the selling of my art show. I mean, my art, but I never sold anything. Nobody wanted to buy anything from me. And I have this video on YouTube, but it wasn't the same as this. This was more personal, more in depth, like reached out to who I was. We talked about stuff that wasn't even relating to art. And it was a mix of different things. That's what life's about. And I'm glad that you guys do what you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You know, I was going to say, through this whole time, I could hear some of your New York coming out of you, but I really couldn't hear it.
You know why? You want to know the funny part about that one is?
Because you want to be
that
Jackson.
I used to work in Manhattan. And when I worked in Manhattan, I worked in all these corporate companies where you had to have a clear, concise, crisp voice.
Oh, I got you.
And yeah. And I was also a security officer, and I worked for Senator Jewel Brandt and Schumer's building. And you had to talk a certain way. So I guess it stayed.
Huh.
And every time I talk to someone or do something or whatever, and I mean, I have my little lingo here when I become a little bit more comfortable. Maybe when I have a couple drinks in me, all the Brooklyn comes out. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could tell when you were talking with the Brooklyn party. I can see when it was coming.
See Andy Samberg in this Brooklyn Nine-Nine. See, I understand. My problem is that I have I have the ability to mimic people at times, and usually if I hear you speaking to me, I have to catch myself. Where I work at, I assist customers everywhere around the States and the world, and whatnot with my big company. And, I get a lot of Southern people on there. So, I start talking like damn, and I'm like, I gotta catch myself. Or you start talking, hello, I'm John Lennon, I'm from England. So it's a bad thing, and I have to catch myself. So
when I was in Texas, I caught myself saying, thank you, ma'am, thank you, sir. And I'm like, oh, where'd that come from?
Where's the y'all?
Hey, y'all.
All right, Yolanda, it's getting kind of late over here for us over here,
Yeah.
so I don't want to take up too much of your time. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, yes,
It was
indeed.
a pleasure being here.
And hopefully we get you on the show in a future episode or so.
Yeah, just
That'd be cool.
feel free to reach out. You'll see us. I don't know if you're ever on Periscope. You'll see me doing Periscopes for Critical Thinking. You'll see us. I don't know if you have Marco Polo.
No, what are those?
Marco
What's
Polo.
Marco Polo.
Marco Polo is similar to Snapchat, but you set it up via your phone number. And then basically you kind of like send quick Snapchat messages back to each other. And it's pretty funny. Me and the guys, we talk a lot of crap to each other on it. But they only go away if you delete them. So they'll stay there forever because you can always go back and replay them and crack up. So that's something.
That's something new. I never heard of that before.
Yeah, my wife introduced it to me, so it's pretty hilarious. My daughter messes with me all the time. But it was
very cool. Now I have something new.
Exactly. But it was amazing having you on the show. We hope to have you down the road. Whenever you're ready to release your big announcement when you're painting the Sistine Chapel, we want to bring that on our show. When you're ready to do my photo for my wife, my photo, me on the couch, let me know.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I got to make sure I get in shape first because I'm a little flabby right now.
Round is a shape.
Round, that's not the kind of shape I want to be. I used to look good. Now I just sound good. No, that's not right. Thank you so much. We enjoy talking to you, and we look forward to chatting with you again in the future. Look forward just to messaging you here and there just to hear how you're doing. Feel free to keep on tagging us on Twitter. We'll retweet and do whatever we can. Sometimes I miss some of the tweets because half the time we're working or whatever, but if we catch them, we'll retweet them.
And I appreciate that. And I appreciate everything you guys actually inspired me tonight to do, because I wouldn't have that inspiration if I didn't speak to you guys. And it'd be a pleasure to be talking with you again and maybe coming down to Houston one day.
That'll be great. If you do come down to Houston, we'll promise you we'll have some alcohol in here so we can all have a great old time.
Very cool. I really had fun with you guys tonight. It was really cool.
Well, same here. And I'm glad you have a great sense of humor and you're a great person. Oh, I'm sorry, Rick. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying the same thing.
Rick, is it okay if I give you your cell phone number?
Shut up.
He's going to want a Marco Polo later. I don't know. I'm the matchmaker. That's what I am. Thank you, Yolanda. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
All right,
And you guys have a good night.
You too, man.
You have a great night.
Go paint some great art.
I actually, since it's getting to that time to paint right now, I'm going to pop a couple candles on, a glass of wine, and I'm going to start painting.
You know what? When you're painting, you should take a picture of that. A selfie of yourself like that, send it to us, and we can use it when we tag our stuff. Because here's the other thing I'm going to tell you. On Fridays, we do FFs, and you probably saw me doing FFs this past Friday. When the episode comes out and Sean does this little thing, he puts your picture and everything else. I want to be able to have that picture so you can have your face, and he'll adapt it on some kind of a screen. And so it'll show up and it'll be like his little artwork he does. So you'll be on the picture, and then I can use that to send it out on Fridays, because that's what I try to do. And whenever we do an FF, I try to incorporate the person who we actually do the show with. I pretty much sneak their name in every single FF I do. So you will get a ton of freaking tweets on Friday. And you'll be like, I'm unfollowing this bastard.
Aw, that's so cool. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for coming on, Yolanda. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, you have a good night.
You. Have a good night, guys.
You too. And there you go, Rick's future wife, Yolanda Mozdzen. She has pretty eyes, Rick. Don't you agree? You were entranced. I could see it.
I was just like, oh, eyes.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, whatever.
Anyways.
You might want to clean the drool off the side of the cheek.
I am not drooling.
Well, then that's not. It's not funny.
It's not funny, huh?
No, what an amazing woman.
Yeah,
Seriously.
she was
my
good.
God.
I can't believe I inspired her for some art.
You inspired anybody?
I didn't say
You inspired me to go to McDonald's.
Hey, at least you got to eat.
That's right. Look, no, seriously, I cannot say this enough about all the people we meet on this show. This is just so awesome that we have so many guests that come on the show and inspire us in so many different ways with what they do and what they're trying to do and how they're trying to make the world a better place. With everything that's going on in this day and age, it is so great to meet someone refreshing like Yolanda, or meeting the amazing people like Anson Mount and all those other people and people we met at Comicpalooza that want to change the world and make it a better place. I can only say thank you guys for everything that you do to make this world a better place for the children, the children's children, my children, my grandchildren, and everything going in the future. Thank you so much for making such a major impact on this world. I'm trying to do the same, and I appreciate you guys coming on the show. Yolanda, we will await your stuff that you'll be sending us in the mail, and we will definitely reach out to our people here in Houston and definitely see what we can do. Maybe we'll reach out. Maybe we'll get lucky enough to get somebody who's really willing, who can really help you stretch your art even further, since you want to do so much for charitable work. I can't tell you how inspiring that is for me to hear. It touches your heart, touches you in an emotional place. So we will do everything we can in regards to that. At the same time, I will do whatever I can to help you gain followers and whatnot. And hopefully, like I said, you make it down here to Houston and we can all have a blast. I know my wife would love to meet you, and just truly all inspiring. And what I didn't get to tell you in the interview, and I apologize, is both my boys draw. And again, because I told you they were in that comic book. So I think it would be pretty cool if they got to meet someone like yourself who is an artist and self-trained and everything else. And your grandfather taught you what you know. So that would be really cool. Well, here we go, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give out the shout-outs now to everybody. First, a shout-out to our wonderful, beautiful guest, Yolanda Mozdzen. Shout-out to the radio play guys that play us. We would not be where we're at if it wasn't for you guys. Thank you, Beyond the Dawn. Thank you, No Fucks Given Radio. Thank you, 8-Bit Rose, who will be carrying us now. You don't know how much it means to us. So we really, really appreciate everything you do for us. Actually, I'll give a shout out to Podbean as well, and iTunes and Stitcher and SoundCloud and all those guys. Thank you for giving normal guys like us, with everything going on with this net neutrality and all this other stuff coming down. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our voices out there with the world. We appreciate that. Also, thank you to our sponsors, because without them, we wouldn't be here. Uncanny Comics has been with us from day one. He's had our back. He's rolled with us. He pays for our dues. He makes sure we're there. He helps us out at Comicpalooza. Yeah, thank you, Joseph Cano, Uncanny Comics, located at Avenue I in Rosenberg, Texas. Go out and visit him. He is the biggest shop in Rosenberg, Texas. He will be expanding, going to a larger domain here pretty soon. And at Comicpalooza, he did outstanding. And yes, I was making the statement that he was cheaper than anybody there, and he was. And people found out that. He was so grateful that he kept on bringing more stuff from his shop every single day and trying to sell it to people and give people great deals, because that's how he is. The man cares about the peoples and not the dollars. And you don't see that too often. And he's going to get blessed for that. Also, shout out major props to our boy out there in Japan, Mr. Kyle Hawthorne from Tokyo Munchies. Oh yeah, Tokyo Munchies, because he gave us his samurai swords. Not really, but he gave us his long sticks. Wait a minute. Whoa. He gave us some cheese sticks. Whoa. He gave Rick a roll. He gave us a box of stuff, started using them, giving them out, and people actually knew it and actually liked it. So hopefully he'll gain some more sales from that. We'll probably be pimping some more of that out and giving some more of those things out, because they're really damn good.
You said pimp.
I know. We actually probably take us with us when we're thinking of going out to this location. It's our next sponsor. Mr. Rick came up with a great idea, and I think we're going to do this, but we're going to confirm first with our man guy out there. Tanks Paintball. Tanks Paintball loaded out there on Southwest Freeway out here in Richmond, Texas, right outside of Rosenberg, Texas. We're also close to Uncanny Comics, except he's on the freeway. Tanks Paintball, where you can shoot your relatives in the butt, and it's all fun and games, and they can't get mad about it. Well, they get mad, shoot you back, but you get to shoot them for free. No blood spilled, unless you get them really hard in a bare skin spot. But anyway, Tanks Paintball, a great place to go. So much fun. So many new fields. So many new games. They do airsoft out there. Sometimes they have guys out there cooking food too. That's the amazing thing. And they do have a lot of good stuff out there. They're great guys, and they are our other major sponsor of Critical Thinking Podcast. They made it happen that us and Uncanny could also show up at Comicpalooza. They had our backs. They did so much for us, and they continue to have our backs and will continue to help us grow. And we can't tell you thanks enough. We have free passes to go out there and play at Tanks Paintball. We'll be raffling some more of those away as well. But because of them and because of what's going down with E3, Rick and myself may be making a trip out there after we confirm to see it's okay, which it probably will be. We'll probably be out there Sunday or Saturday live doing a show. We're talking to you people out there and hanging out with Rudy and Tank and see what's going down, cause you got to give love to your sponsors for everything they do for you. And so those are our shout outs. Anybody I miss, Rick?
No, I think he got everybody on that one.
I think I did, right?
Yeah.
I need to give a shout out to Miguel Garza, because he's just amazing. Shout out to Rick the Rizzo Lopez. No, but on serious side, shout out to our Conrads who are fallen. No.
That's how I'm just, they ain't dying.
No, they fell down.
No, they fell down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean is going to be away, guys and ladies and gentlemen, for maybe a month. He is, again, being a dedicated son and a loyal family member, which I respect deeply for him, going back to Ohio to help out his relatives. That is an excellent young man. And I have nothing but respect for him. Josh, sadly, is working his job, trying to make for his family, and he's very far away, and he's had to work longer hours, so he's not been able to make it. So he wanted to be here, but he couldn't be. Kyle, as you know, is the grand poobah. He leads us by example, and he's a really great guy, and we're a team. We don't single each other out, even as much as I give him props. He acknowledges we are a team. The man works very hard to provide for his family also, and he is extremely exhausted and doesn't care to bring the show down, even though we think 50% of him is probably better than half of us at 100%. But we understand and we respect his wishes, so he'll be joining us hopefully down the road. Rick, anything else?
No, nothing else. I mean, you hit the...
Yeah, I got a little field there, but I wanted to give props out to our guys.
But like I said, he is true. We really want to, hopefully... We will have that. It will be like bonus episode with the E3 and everything going out the tanks. It'll be a bonus episode that we're going to throw out there, along with all the Comicpalooza stuff that Sean, even though he's going to be over his family, he's going to be editing a lot of this stuff and putting it all out there. It's just taking a while because it's been a lot of running around for all of us here.
Oh, there is a lot of, that's the other thing. There is a lot of footage, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking Mondo footage from Comicpalooza and another episode that Rick did with Sean. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out. And we're trying to do this so you get it and you're not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
We're dropping it here and there, whatnot. And of course, everybody has lives and it happens.
Yeah.
So, hey, just be patient with us. It's coming. That's nasty, but it's going to be there. Hard. Why don't you stop me, Rick?
It'll be all there. That'll be great. So, y'all just go ahead and y'all have a great time. Have a great week.
And for myself and Rick and the Reach Around, have a good one.
Hey, guys, you can connect with us on iTunes.
At Critical Thinking Podcast.
And Twitter.
At Critic_Thinking.
And also on Facebook and Instagram.
At Critical Thinking Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Critical Thinking is on Beyond the Dawn Radio, which is known for playing the best indie radio music around the world.
On Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Central Time.
And if you like the show, please 5-star the episode and tell your friends. So thank you for joining us, thinking shit through one podcast at a time.